Hey YouTube, Do-It-Yourself Junkie 369, and today is day 126 of our RV10 build. The title of this video might seem a bit clickbaitish, but even though this is 126 and I did this months ago, I wish I'd known what I'm going to cover in this video before I did section 9, page 15, step 7. And if you don't watch this video before this step, you're going to end up in a situation that almost everybody else building an RV10 finds themselves in, and you'll be going to the internet, probably to Vans Forum, to search it and finding out basically you're kind of stuck drilling out rivets. In that step, what you're doing is you are riveting with these pull rivets the elevator trim tab cable attachment point to the cover plate. And it's easy enough to do. You stick it on there, you Cleco it, you rivet it with pull rivets. Where this becomes an issue is when it's time to install the elevator trim tab cables. That's all the way in section 11, page 10, step 3. And basically, you go through the whole process of connecting the cables, fishing the cables through all the holes that they have to go through, connecting them to the trim tab servo up front, and then you have to screw this on there on the end of the cable to a certain length, certain number of threads. I forget what it says exactly in the manual, but the important part is you have to screw it. So you have to stick it on there. It's sticking out of the bottom of the elevator at an angle, and if you try to rotate this whole thing, there's no clearance. It just hits the elevator, and you can't bend the cable down far enough to get the clearance you need. And reading online, there's basically two options. One is to drill out these rivets, screw this on there, then rivet it back together, do your adjustments, or sorry, not rivet it back together, but Cleco it back together, get your adjustments and everything done correctly, and then rivet it once everything's done. And that's probably the preferred way of doing it. So really, you should put off section 9, page 15, step 7, until you get to section 11, page 10, step 3, and do it after that step is completed. So I have a really hard choice to make. I've talked about it shortly in another video that I'll actually release after this one, because I really want to get this out and then place it in my playlist before the video that shows me riveting this together. And in that video I talked about I have two options. One, as I mentioned, is to drill out these rivets, do my adjustments, Cleco it together until I get everything adjusted correctly, and then rivet it when it's correct. The other option that I've been considering is I go up here and I unbolt it from the trim tab servo and the support brackets up there, fish the cable further out, screw this together, and then once it's installed correctly, fish the cable back forward and reinstall it to the trim tab servos. If I have enough rivets, which I haven't checked yet, if this is a rivet that I have extra of, I'm leaning, originally I was going to disconnect it from the servo. Now I am leaning towards drilling out the rivets, just because it's easier. The servo, there's bolts that I have to reach way in here. They are the lock nut bolts. Then I have two jam nuts on either side of the bracket that I would have to undo basically, or make sure that one doesn't move so I can keep the adjustment that I have. I'd have to like count the threads and stuff, and it would just be a real pain compared to just drilling these out and costing me the extra 8 rivets of learning this. But you can avoid all that if you do what I say and skip this step until you are adjusting the trim tab. Like don't mess with this until you get to that step. So hopefully you see this and you go and you don't do what everybody else did, because I didn't find out about it until I went to complete that step of screwing the two together and realizing there's no possible way for it to be done. And then I turned to Van's Form, as always, a very good place to go join if you're considering, even if you're just considering building an aircraft. And a lot of stuff to research there or read about. And finding out I have two options, and neither of them are really good. The preferred option, third choice, is for you to find out about it before it happens and to avoid the situation altogether. So hopefully this video helps somebody not create that mistake. I really feel like people that have had this problem should contact Vans and kind of question why they do it that way. I probably will send an email. I don't know if it'll make it into the plans. I've emailed them about other mistakes that I've found, and I'm kind of hoping maybe they take my advice on this and they take that step out of section 9 and they move it to section 11, where it would be better served. Hopefully somebody out there finds this video useful and you see it before you rivet these two parts together, and it'll save you 8 rivets. Yeah, go ahead and send me 3 cents. It's a little bit more than that, but whatever. I'm joking, don't send me anything. Hopefully you find the video helpful, informative. It saves you the problems of running across this naturally through the build process. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends who are building an RV10, especially if they're getting ready to start on the elevator section. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm going to go back, start working on this, count rivets, see if I can drill these out, and I will basically tie the rest of day 126, which is only going to be about an hour and a half worth of work, unfortunately, into the video that I was already shooting. Thank you. Have a good day.